Okay, Kyle. Embrace yourself.
Okay.
Kill that motherfucker! He killed all our friends!
What the... Wait, do that again. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Do that again.
Kill that motherfucker! He killed all our friends!
Dude. Redeemed. You know what? If anything, the prequel trilogy is just awesome meme material. But yeah.
Right. Yes, so we have Ahsoka, right?
Yes. Ahsoka. Yes. I have mixed feelings on.
Go for it.
Well, the thing is that like I actually love the villains a lot more than I like the heroes in this one. Especially Baylan Skoll. And also the new character development we're getting from his apprentice. Kind of like Ahsoka being like, hey, like I sense conflict in you, like come to the other side sort of deal. And also so as I was saying about Admiral Thrawn, he wouldn't have been my first like casting pick for him, but the guy they got is pretty good, I'd say. Like he portrays that character well. And I would say I like how they wrote him.
Okay.
In terms of because Thrawn is supposed to be the ultimate strategist, right? And I've noticed, at least in the most recent episode, how he is using his strategizing to bring people into conflict to distract them for his actual plan, right? So he's kind of thought of, he gives you the sense he's thought of all the angles, and he's really keeping them busy while he actually handles the real, task he has to do, right? So
yeah, I think they wrote him stupid.
Yeah? Please,
yeah, I think he's coming across as like a Dr. Evil. Like he's like, close the doors and we're just gonna assume everything went to plan. Like, like I don't know how many times he could have killed all these Jedi on the planet, and I just feel like the way they just bumble through and they get through all this stuff is just kind of like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is supposed to be one of the smartest generals, right?
Yes, smartest admirals,
general. But like that's his whole thing, right? Like he's clever. He's not super strong. He's not like Darth Vader where he's a force user. His power or his skill set comes with his knowledge of tactics and being a general and stuff. And it's just the way he's just like being so stupid. Like the mind okay, the whales. First of all, they hop in these whales and they literally have no idea, let these whales know exactly where to go. You're jumping to another galaxy, let alone the right planet and everything. The randomization of that is just so crazy. And that one character, the robot Jedi, points this out constantly. And, she's just like smug about it. Like, okay, we're just going to magically get there on these whales, kind of thing. But like they set up these bombs to detonate when the whales.
Field. Yeah.
But none of them are even damaged. The whales. It's like doing nothing to the whales.
I'd say it's Disney.
Okay, it's true.
All
right, but there's just so much like with the fighting and stuff where there's it just doesn't feel like nothing's a real threat, and no one's life's in danger.
Two things about and this is the only one about you were saying about Admiral Thrawn. Like, he at many times he could have taken them out. Yes. But I think they did two things that sort of made me think about the limitations Admiral Thrawn is under.
Okay.
So, one, we know that he has been in battle. He has been fighting on the outer rim of another galaxy for decades. And you can see it, especially when he first, which by the way was a badass introduction, I'd say, like with the stormtroopers and like the I love the repairs they've done with like this gold plate stuff with like the red, so it's like, okay, they're battle worn, right? Like crazy. Yet they've survived, right? And then also Admiral Thrawn says, at least on one occasion, that he's like, we do not have the numbers we once did, right? So he's working with limited resources, right? Yeah. So those two things together kind of make me cut him a little slack. But I will say, though, the Stormtroopers aren't as badass as I thought, because I thought they'd be a little more badass when they were deployed to take out, Ahsoka's apprentice.
The girl with the hair, right?
Yes,
short hair.
Yes, the Mandalorian gal.
Oh my gosh, what's her name? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, I can't remember these characters' names. And one thing that kind of bugs me about this show too is you had to watch Rebels.
Sabine Wren.
Sabine, and then what's the dude's
Rebels. Name? You're right. Right.
What's the dude's name that she's looking for?
Oh, she's looking for one sec.
I know Chopper's the robot.
She's looking for Ezra.
Ezra.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller?
Yeah.
The Mad Goose Wizard.
No. Ezra.
It's a joke.
Wait, what's that from? What's Ezra Miller from?
Ezra Miller, that's the kid who plays the Flash, and he got in trouble because he physically assaulted people.
Right.
Ezra. And I don't know if it's just the writers or if it's just Star Wars in general now. I don't know what's going on, or if it's the producers wanting to push the story a certain way. I have no idea why it is the way it is, but I don't know what's the point of him not using a lightsaber. And the whole fight sequence just felt like it was just so weird, like he's not going to need one. And then also the fighting in this show is really bad with the lightsabers. I'm not enjoying the
choreography. Yeah.
And it was cool to see what's his name, Darth Vader back, Anakin, Christian Haydenson.
Yep.
Come back, but you can see on a whole other level how good of a fighter he was.
Yes.
Compared to but it's just a trip because so many times so many characters spin around when they fight for some reason in this series, and they always spin around where the other character's not spinning around and could just slash them in the back. And it's just frustrating me like crazy how many people have to spin for no purpose or reason. And it was to the point where I was like, I need to go back and watch some good fights. And I watched Anakin and Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And it's a trip how they're literally just fighting face forward. They're not spinning around or trying to be as fancy. And it's just the fanciness is just misplaced. I believe you can have fancy fighting where they're turning around and doing cool tricks, but as long as it's a purpose, because you're a Jedi and you're you're trained by one of the best, and the way they just spin around, and it's so obvious too. They'll swing and it clearly looks like they're missing on purpose. Mm-hmm. They're swinging to open air, and it's just oh my gosh, just fighting this. It's just, I love lightsaber fights, and that stuff pisses me off like crazy when it's just not choreographed correctly.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I just had to.
No.
I had to. I've been thinking about it. I've been bottled up in
Nick,
here.
Get it off your chest. I get it, man. I would have to agree. Yes, the lightsaber battles are very lackluster from what we're used to.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you think about Ahsoka was trained by Anakin Skywalker, arguably the most talented, Jedi there was.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating, and also it's frustrating too. Ships aren't endangered in this show, the X-wings. You're not really in fear for anyone's life. Mm-hmm. I haven't felt that way yet in the show where I'm worried that someone's gonna die or something like that. And then they brought back C-3PO for the worst member berry ever. It was to bail the girl out,
the general,
but it was just so misplaced. We didn't even see Leia or had communications to even set that in motion, and it was just what the heck, member berry right now. But anyways, there's a lot more too, but let's keep this positive. Kyle, you talk for the rest of the time, because I'm just going to keep going down this wormhole with
so I think, I don't know, there's parts about the show where I see where it's trying to establish its own identity, and it's kind of weird. I see it a lot in the ending credits, to be honest, just with the music. Like it's not sensational. It's more plotting and melancholic, right? You know, with the I don't know if it's cello or violin specifically, but as it's tracing the star charts through the galaxy, right? Like that's
okay.
As a fan of maps, I loved that, right? And because really, when we think about it, this is a show about finding
Nemo.
Finding secrets. Yes, finding Nemo, Nick.
No, I'm sorry, secrets.
But yeah, and wandering the stars in search of like the next threat. And that's the thing is like, and I've seen this across multiple of the Star Wars that take place after the Battle of Endor, which is that the New Republic is very new and they are still growing into the government they want to become. Right? Okay. Meaning they are weakened. They still haven't recovered from the war, right? And so everyone is focused on rebuilding, where there are a few that say like, look, there's still an Imperial remnant out there. And so, and because they're so focused on this little view of like what they have to rebuild, right? They're like, look, we don't have time for that. We have to like, there's a lot of other stuff we have to do. And it's kind of focusing on that search for that threat, because of course the people that are saying nay, they need proof, right? So that's why they're embarking on this quest to do that.
Do you think this would have been better as an animation?
100%. If they did an HBO Max, if they did an HBO Max level like production. Like for like Star Wars like this, like would be sick. Like I could see it. Like I'm talking, okay, so like I've never seen Rebels. I respect it for the canon it brought and stuff. But if you could add more production value to that, and put something out there with like good writing, great artists, great, you know, like then man, that would be one.
I think it would also fix a lot of the story beats.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways to like this show, and I'm struggling.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I'm trying. I'm really trying here to like Star Wars stuff.
I'm gonna let you in on a secret, Nick. So I'm the only one watching Ahsoka now.
Oh,
Nicole, really? Yeah, my girlfriend's just
she's over it.
Done. She's like, I'm done. Yeah. She I think after episode 2 or 3, she's like, I'm not feeling it.
Right? Okay. Yeah. I'm still not feeling it. And I'm really searching for it. So I don't want to say it's like Rings of Power, but you know, Rings of Power right away. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Sure.
So I already had a bad taste in my mouth once I started watching it. But for this, I mean, I am a Star Wars fan. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, I'm really trying to get into it, and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Anywho, and that note,